I, 38M, used to have it all. 6 years ago, I was at the peak of my career in tech sales. I'd worked my way up from an entry-level position to regional director at a cloud services company, pulling in nearly $200,000 a year with bonuses. I drove a Tesla, owned a 4-bedroom house in a gated community, and had enough disposable income to indulge in whatever caught my fancy. Life was good. That's when I met Sarah, 34F, at a charity gala my company sponsored. She was working for the event planning company, and I was immediately struck by her confidence and charm. Sarah was stunning, tall, athletic, with this infectious laugh that made everyone around her smile. We hit it off that night, exchanged numbers, and within 3 months, we were inseparable. Our relationship moved quickly. Sarah appreciated the finer things in life, and I was more than happy to provide them. Designer handbags, weekend getaways to Napa, front-row concert tickets. Nothing was too extravagant if it made her smile. When I proposed after a year of dating with a 2-carat diamond ring, she tearfully accepted, and we were married 6 months later in a lavish ceremony at a vineyard estate. The first 3 years of our marriage were like a dream. Sarah quit her job to focus on building our life together, which meant decorating our home, planning our social calendar, and organizing exotic vacations. My career continued to thrive, and I was being groomed for an executive position. Sarah was the perfect corporate wife, charming my colleagues at dinner parties, remembering everyone's birthdays, and making our home a showcase worthy of a magazine spread. "You work so hard, babe," she would say as she massaged my shoulders after a long day. "You deserve to come home to perfection." And she delivered on that promise. Our house was immaculate. Dinner was always ready, and she greeted me with a smile and a kiss every evening. When I'd bring home news of another bonus or successful deal, Sarah would plan elaborate celebrations, a surprise weekend in Vegas, a new watch for my collection, or a private chef to prepare a gourmet meal. "I'm so proud of you," she'd whisper as we clinked champagne glasses. "You're the most amazing man I've ever known." I felt like the luckiest guy alive. My friends envied my beautiful, attentive wife and my picture-perfect life. What more could a man want than a partner who supported his ambitions and made sure he was taken care of in every way? Little did I know that our fairy tale was built on a foundation as stable as a house of cards. The winds of change were about to blow through our lives, and I would learn the hard way what for better or for worse really meant to Sarah. It all started to unravel 4 years into our marriage. My company was acquired by a larger corporation, and the new management began restructuring immediately. Despite my sales records and client relationships, I found myself on the chopping block, a casualty of redundant positions as they merged the sales teams. The severance package was decent, 6 months' salary, but after living at our financial ceiling for years, our savings were minimal. "Don't worry," I told Sarah over dinner the night I was let go. "I've got connections all over the industry. I'll land somewhere even better." Sarah nodded and poured more wine. "Of course you will, babe. You're too talented to stay unemployed for long." But I noticed she hardly touched her food that night, and she went to bed early with a headache. The first few weeks weren't so bad. I had interviews lined up, and Sarah was supportive, laying out my best suits and making sure I had quiet time to prepare. But as 1 month stretched into 2, then 3, with no offers materializing, the atmosphere at home began to change. "Did you follow up with that recruiter from Oracle?" she'd asked before I'd even had my morning coffee. "What about that LinkedIn connection your friend mentioned?" The tech sector was experiencing a downturn, and companies were freezing new hires. My age worked against me too. Younger candidates were willing to work for less. The few offers I received were for positions well below my previous level, with salaries to match. Meanwhile, our savings dwindled. I canceled our premium cable package, traded in the Tesla for a more economical model, and suggested we cut back on eating out. Sarah agreed, but with obvious reluctance. "It's just temporary," I assured her as she stared at her half-empty closet after selling some of her designer pieces online. "We'll bounce back." The tension grew as our lifestyle adjustments became more severe. Sarah's cheerful morning greetings turned into silent scrolling on her phone. The house was still clean, but the special touches, fresh flowers, home-cooked gourmet meals, disappeared. When I'd come home from another disappointing interview, instead of comfort, I'd find her out with friends or locked in our bedroom watching Netflix. "You seem distant," I said one night, 6 months into my unemployment. "I'm just stressed," she replied without looking up from her phone. "It's a lot, you know? All these changes." By the 8th month, I'd taken a job at a startup for half my previous salary. It was a step down, but it stopped the bleeding of our finances. We had to downsize our house and move to an apartment, selling much of our furniture and artwork in the process. That's when I noticed Sarah's overnight bag packed by the door one Friday morning. "Girls' weekend," she explained with a brittle smile. Megan invited me to her beach house. I need a break from everything. The weekend turned into 4 days, then 5. When she finally returned, she was different, detached, spending hours texting and taking calls in another room. She started going to the gym daily, leaving early and returning late, showered and perfumed. I found the credit card statements showing spa days, restaurant charges, and hotel bookings while I was pinching pennies to keep us afloat. When confronted, she shrugged. I deserve some happiness, don't I? This isn't the life I signed up for. Those words hit me like a physical blow. The unspoken truth hung between us. I had broken our contract. I had failed to provide the lifestyle that was the foundation of our relationship. I tried desperately to salvage our marriage over the next few months. I took on freelance projects in the evenings after my day job, pushing myself to the brink of exhaustion to bring in extra money. I suggested marriage counseling, but Sarah always had an excuse. Too busy, too tired. What's the point? The distance between us grew into a chasm. Then came the day I arrived home to find half the closet empty and a letter on the kitchen counter. Sarah was staying with her sister to figure things out. She needed space. She felt unfulfilled. She deserved to be happy. 2 days later, she texted asking to meet at a coffee shop. Not our home. Not even a restaurant we used to frequent. Just a neutral, public place where emotions could be contained. I think we both know this isn't working, she said without preamble, perfectly put together in an outfit I didn't recognize. We want different things from life. We're going through a rough patch, I argued. Every marriage has them. We took vows, for better or worse, remember? Sarah's laugh was hollow. Let's be honest with ourselves. Our marriage was built during the better times. Neither of us signed up for worse to last this long. So you're just done? After 5 years together? Because I lost my job and we had to cut back? She sighed, impatient now. It's not just the money, though let's not pretend that's not a huge part of it. It's what losing the money revealed about us, about our compatibility. I'm not built for struggle, for counting pennies and clipping coupons. I want more from life. When I asked if there was someone else, her silence told me everything. He can give you the lifestyle I can't right now, I said quietly. It wasn't a question. Mark runs his own investment firm, she finally admitted. And yes, he's successful. But it's not just that. He's exciting, ambitious. He reminds me of you when we first met. The divorce papers arrived a week later. The terms were straightforward. We had a prenup, and with our downsized life, there wasn't much left to divide anyway. Sarah wanted a clean break and a quick process. I signed the papers in a fog of disbelief. 6 months later, I was scrolling through social media when I saw the photos. Sarah in Santorini, sunbathing on a private yacht. Sarah showing off a new diamond bracelet. Sarah at charity galas and exclusive restaurants. Always immaculately styled. Always beaming at the silver-haired man by her side. The same smile she once directed at me. A mutual friend let slip that they were engaged. She's really happy now, she told me, as if that would somehow lessen the blow. I wish I could say I've completely healed, that I've found someone who loves me for myself rather than my bank account. The truth is messier. Some days I'm angry, at Sarah for her shallow values, at myself for not seeing what was clear from the beginning. Other days, I'm grateful for the harsh lesson. Better to learn it at 38 than 48 or 58. My career is slowly rebuilding. I'm back in a house, though nothing like our former showplace. I date occasionally, but I'm cautious now, watching for signs that a woman is interested in me or just the lifestyle I might provide. The hardest pill to swallow wasn't losing Sarah. It was realizing that I never really had her to begin with. She didn't love me. She loved the life I could give her. When that life disappeared, so did her affection. If there's any wisdom I can share from this experience, it's this. Pay attention to how your partner reacts, not to your successes, but to your failures. Anyone can stand by you when you're winning. The ones who stay when you're down, those are the ones worth keeping. For those struggling in similar situations, know that while the pain is real, it does eventually subside. And sometimes losing someone who only loved what you could provide makes room for finding someone who loves you for who you are, regardless of your bank balance. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.